Hello everybody, Cody here, and I am back today to show you guys a really simple idea if you guys are struggling with VFX and stuff like that inside a Blender. So what most people usually do is they add a transparent PNG to their scene to use as like a VFX for compositing. But the problem with doing that is if you were to navigate in a scene, it would be a flat image as if it were 2D, because it is 2D. It's a 2D sequence of images, right? So there's this other method you guys can do very easily to add smoke effects, explosions and stuff without taking up much CPU at all, and it still uses images, but it's in 3D this time, okay? So these are called VDBs. And what these are is a set of images taken in a 3D scene. So as you see, all of these are actually 3D. Some of these have really big file size, but you can achieve some that are like 64 megabytes. And we're going to jump into Blender just so I can show you what they look like. And we're also going to be jumping into a free program you can download called EmberGen. There is a free trial for it. It is a paid plugin, but this is a program where you can create VDBs. So like if you're into creating visual effects and you want 3D assets in your scene instead opposed to just like 2D ones. So what I'm actually going to do is just flip on over here. So that is the EmberGen. We're going to go over into Blender. I'm just going to show you really quickly what a VDB does. So I have any shape, any object. What I'm going to do is press Shift A on such object. I'm going to go to this volume, import VDB. I'm then going to go and I'm navigating right now to where my VDBs are kept. It'll be a sequence of images. You want to shift click on the first one and then click on the last one, and then you'll import all of the scenes as one. So now if I play it, you'll notice that the VDB has been imported here. I'm just going to rescale it, maybe even reset the origin point to it. Okay. So now that I have my VDB in the scene, you're going to notice right away that we already have an effect playing, and it is a completely 3D object inside of my scene. So if I go into Add Images Planes, and I'm just going to show you very quickly that doing this with pretty much anything else. So let's just use, for example, this cat. As you see, this cat, if I were to make this transparent, so wait for the image to load. If I were to green screen this out, it would still be a 2D image, so all thin and stuff like that. But what we actually want is the VDB. So we want everything to be in a 3D space here. So I'm just going to click the VDB once again. You're going to see it build up. So I'm just going to come back into my untexture mode. I'm going to show you how to get the fire texture into this. So you want to make sure this is selected. The second thing you want to do is come up into shading. Okay, you're going to see your VDB here. It is not going to be shaded at all. So if I play it back, it's just going to be like so. So I'm actually just going to jump over into cycles render mode. We want to hit new here, and it's already magically going to give us this principled volume shader here. So the first thing you want to do next is make sure you turn up your black body intensity, and that's going to make the scale visible on the smoke here. And the temperature we want to bring up, I'm going to put this to about 13,000. Okay, and if you notice that this is supposed to be the flame that's protruding through here on the smoke, so what we actually have to do is change this temperature map over. So if we highlight the VDB and we come into, let me just find the menu here, right here, it'll be a little particle box here. You're going to notice that we have flames in temperature, okay? So what we want to do is set it to the flames. So in temperature, I can just type flames, hit enter. We're going to drag that up. And you're going to notice that we do start to have a bit of a red bleeding off in there. So we're just going to keep calculating this. Oh, don't want to play with the strength too much. Density you can calculate as well. And if I go all the way down to 0 on our density, we can actually start changing this up so it starts to look like a fireball. So now that looks a lot better, right? So now when I play it back, you're going to notice that we have this 3D smoke simulation already built into our scene, right? So now if I go back to unshaded mode, you're going to see that we have our base here. We have nothing in that shaded mode, and then in cycles we got the full VDB. As you see, we have it growing here, and these are amazing for creating 3D scenes. So if I was animating in the scene, this wouldn't take up much data as it would if I were to run a full simulation. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is a great tool so you can create your own effects, muzzle flashes, and all that fun stuff for pretty much free. You can just keep signing up with new emails and getting the tool for free. So what I'm actually going to do is close that. So this program right here is EmberGen, and this is what a lot of people use to make VDBs and particle effects, okay? So all of these are templates that you can actually just click and edit yourself. So I already have a project open, so I'm going to jump into that project. And you're going to notice right away that this is a really interesting program that has its own 3D scene inside, right? And right here we can customize our VDBs. We can play with them. We can, we have a whole node system to work with right here. And if you wanted to export this, you would hit export. It says click the export now button on the rendered node. So there should be a node here with a render button on it, and then we're going to go to that. So let's find our render node. And then we have to set the output path. So here's our export path, right? So now we have a directory and stuff like that we can set this to. So we're actually just going to go on, and I'm going to set this to my animation directory. Okay. The file name is project. We can set the number of null frames, the export the density. We can export the temperature, the fuel velocity, and so forth. So we're going to go down. Everything looks okay to there. We can now just hit export. It says it's going to take about 4 seconds remaining to complete this step. Okay, now we have that complete. Now we're going to jump back over into Blender. Okay, now we're back into Blender. I'm going to delete this VDB right here. I'm going to highlight this sphere. I'm going to go to volume, import VDB, go to here, animations, and I'm going to find where that's saved to because I don't exactly know what the file was called. Here it is, untitled VDB. I'm just going to go all the way down and select all of the VDB maps, hit import, and as you see, we now have our custom VDB imported into our scene, and that was that easy, right? And it is completely 3D. So again, what we have to do is go into our shading mode. So we can go into shade. All you have to do is click new. Blender's really good at setting this up for you automatically. So we have that. We can set our density. So I just want to switch it over into cycles mode. We want to turn up the temperature to about 14,000. Okay, black body intensity, we're going to drag that up. You're going to notice that we have a white cloud now, right? So we might not even need the black body density after we imported the VDB there, but we probably will need to change this to flames because we can change it to temperature or flames. So I'm going to go with flames. So we want that to render up. And go back to my object layout. And you'll notice that we have our smoke. We can even scale it up, bringing it down around something like that. Go into my shaded mode. And as you see, we got a whole fireball here now, right? So now this is good to render. And as you see, this is completely 3D. And this is what I found amazing is that this comes with a tool that you can actually make these. Because I know a lot of websites that are looking for developers that know how to make VDB maps. So if you guys are interested in VFX and like how to add more realistic things into your scene, this is the start to go. So I'm going to be linking the EmberGen into the description of the video. Just create an account, install it, open it on up, and you can create some of the most mind-blowing effects, right? So we're going to jump back over into EmberGen, and I'm just going to show you a few more things there. So now we're back into EmberGen. I'm just going to show you that if we go to home, we have all of these other ones we can play with, right? We even have built-in tutorials, which is amazing. So we can hit new project, create just an entirely new one. We can go to learn. There's presets. So look at all the presets we have. We even have bubbling swamp presets, cannon explosions, candle flames, like you can name it, you pretty much got it in this. Look at this, bridge particle collapses, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Steam from pipes and stuff like that. Like, just absolutely incredible VDB. So even if I click the muzzle flash, and I don't want to save the project, I'll go to that. Click scene. Whoop. We can even render it out. We can go back to the home. We can find a new one, a ground fire, don't save. And as you see, we now have our fire particle built right into the scene. So I found this program to be amazing. So if you guys are looking just to jump in, get some 3D VFX for your scene, this is the program for you guys. Again, this is EmberGen. I am Cody McIntyre from Boss Poses. Thank you all for tuning in today's video. If you do like it, like and subscribe. I got plenty of tutorials coming up this week. And see you all soon. Have a good night.